Hello viewers and welcome to another Doctor Who episode review. And today I'm reviewing The Chase, which is, I think it's the 6th episode of the second season of Doctor Who. And yeah, it's going to contain some spoilers. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend that you see it because it is a good episode in my opinion. I think it's pretty good, not the best, but I'll get onto that. So yeah, The Chase. It's written by Terry Nation, of course, the Dalek creator, and it's a 6-part story. And each of the parts were called. So part 1, The Executioners; part 2, The Death of Time; part 3, Flight Through Eternity; part 4, Journey into Terror; part 5, The Death of Doctor Who; and part 6, The Planet of Decision. And this story ran from the 22nd of May 1965 to the 26th of June 1965. And it starred William Hartnell as the first Doctor, Jacqueline Hale as Barbara Wright, William Russell as Winchester, Maureen O'Brien as Vicky, and Peter Purvis as Stephen Taylor. So this story kind of introduces him because he's like the new companion. So yeah, I'm not really going to talk about him until I actually review stories with him in. But yeah, this story introduces him, and he is, or will be, a companion. So, The Chase. So basically, it picks up from last episode, The Space Museum, which sort of like built up to all this, and it's the Daleks that are around it all, and it's basically them, the Daleks, trying to chase the Doctor and his companions, but especially the Doctor, of course. So yeah, it says what it does. The story is what it says on the tin. So basically, the Doctor and the companions like go to different places, and the Daleks follow them because they're chasing him. And they've got the Mechanoids in as well, who are against the Daleks. So it's kind of another race that are against the Daleks, which you don't see again in any of the Doctor Who story apart from this one. I don't mind them. They're a bit. They're not really that threatening, to be honest. Not as threatening as the Daleks, certainly, but they were good in the story. I didn't mind them. I did quite like the Beatles bit at the beginning because I'm a huge Beatles fan, as you'd probably know if you check out my other channel, which is called Benny Boy 2000. I know it's a bad name, but check that out. I've done a lot of Beatles stuff on there, but it's quite good to see the Beatles actually in the Doctor Who episode. It's great. But anyway, so the Mechanoids were okay. So yeah, the Daleks were chasing them around. There were a few sort of like weird sort of like scenes in there, like how the Daleks got destroyed, like Frankenstein's a monster, whatever, threw the Dalek out. There's a Dalek that, as far as I can remember, got thrown off deck on the ship or something. I can't just remember. That was a bit weird. I quite liked a few of the scenes in this story. I liked how the Daleks created a robot version of the Doctor. It was kind of like a clone, which was a really good idea from Terry Nation and really worked well in the episode, I thought. And it was very sort of like really good, especially back in the 60s. I would have thought the Doctor fighting himself, even though in a couple of shots you did actually see the stunt double or whatever, the clone. It wasn't actually two William Hartnells, of course. You saw the other actor. But it was still a good effect. It's one of my favourite bits. I did like that. It kind of more new series like, which were kind of pretty good. And they were like, in this episode when the Daleks were chasing the Doctor and all that, they kind of stopped at different stops and kind of places where we'll fantasy and real. Like, they stopped at the Empire State Building in 1966, a year later than the actual time this story was written in and filmed in and whatever. And and they went to the ship, of course. That's what I mentioned before about the Dalek falling off it or whatever. I can't just remember. And Mary Celeste and Frankenstein's monster and Dracula came alive, which was sort of like the fantasy. And it was kind of like, it was different from like any of the Doctor Who episode before this, because I think it's only the 15th ever episode, 15th ever story of Doctor Who, and it only ran for 2 years. Until this, obviously, it went on for longer, but I mean, until the chase, and it's kind of like, it's sort of like a different story to anything that's ever been done. It just kind of felt different, felt like the normal Doctor Who with the first Doctor Who, and all that sort of stuff. Kind of had a different feel, a little bit like it kind of reminded me of the Keys of Marinus in places, how they went to different places, but instead of them finding keys, the Daleks were finding the Doctor and all that. But it was different. And yeah, it is different, but it's worth a watch, I'd say. It's a lot better than the Space Museum. But I think I prefer the other Dalek stories with the first Doctor, to be honest. But it's not too bad. There has been a lot worse episodes, as I've mentioned before. And in this episode, I nearly forgot, it's the last episode to have Ian and Barbara in, as they left at the end of part 6. And it got my mind thinking when the Doctor kind of didn't want them to go, but he didn't actually want to say it. He kind of just wanted them to stay. And when they first met an Earthly Child, they were like, "No, you should not come in this ship. It's too dangerous, and they'll think of anything, and they'll tell the newspapers and all that sort of stuff." But now it grew to be more emotional and more passionate as the Doctor. He's not so much grumpy. We definitely see this from an Earthly Child to the 10th planet, how it transitions, and this is kind of like the midway. It's still kind of like aggressive and like angry in places, but he's kind of showing his more passionate side, and it really brings out how William Hartnell actually was as an actor, as he grew to love playing the Doctor more, as he did it more and more, and it just loved it. And you can tell as it transitions between the stories, he's mellowing a bit, and you kind of saw this a lot when Barbara and Ian went. And yeah, the chase overall, there's not much to say. The Mechanoids were okay, the Daleks were not bad, and the acting were good, and the set was brilliantly made. But there's really not much to say about this episode. It's worth a watch, as I've said. It's not the best, but it's certainly worth a watch. So yeah, that is all I've got to say about the chase. And I've forgotten what I'm going to say now. Can't remember what I'm going to say, but I'll be next reviewing the Time Meddler, and in the classic series episode reviews that I'm doing, I'm continuing with the series 11 reviews as well. But it will be the Time Meddler, and I don't know if I've even said this, because it's my last few episode reviews have been like, I don't know, 8 months ago, whatever, something like that. I think I've said that I'm not reviewing any missing episodes until I get more viewers and more sort of like people watching, because there's no point if they're not watching like these episodes. So if I get more people watching and people request me to review the missing episodes, because I've actually seen all of the episodes, I've seen the telesnaps and everything, then I will review it. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and I might put a little bit of this at the end of this video. When Ian and Barbara leave and all that sort of stuff, they realise that they're in the correct time, in the correct place, London 1965, and you might have seen this video on YouTube, but it's Dr. D.W. Poof or whatever it is, or something like that. He does a remix of Ian saying London 1965, and it cracks me up every time. It's really good. And I'm gonna put a small clip of it, I think, at the end of this video. But anyway, the chase review's over now, and hopefully I will see you in my next review. So, see you then.